Hi, my name's Dee and welcome to Untitled Tarot and welcome to your new moon readings for the new moon in Cancer, 10th of July GMT, like really early in the morning, 1 in the morning, so 9th of July for a lot of the rest of the world. Now, as ever, this is a bulk introduction. I'm going to discuss a little about the moon beforehand because, oh God, I've got so much to say. But there is a timestamp in the description down below if you want to fast forward to your reading or if you are watching more than one. Because I would say, as ever, watch your sun, your rising, and your moon, to be honest. But the moon one is sort of a more internal process, or at least one would assume. But the other thing with this is a general reading. General reading rules apply, so timing's not absolute. If someone else appears in the reading, you can get them mixed up because I'm seeing actions and energies. I don't put a lot of stock in that, but I can see how it can happen. But more importantly, what I would like you to do is ask a question. Now, if you don't have one yet, watch my little waffle about the moon, and that might inspire one. But if you are aware of one, pause the video if you need to. Think about all of the questions that are around you at the moment and focus on one of them. But be aware of all of them because cards will answer what they want. There's, obviously, as a YouTube channel, please hit that like button while you're here, or if you like my analysis of the moon and the new moon events, let's put it that way, then hit that subscribe button. There will be more and they are only going to get better because, as I say, I am not an astrologer. I am learning this stuff, but my God, it doesn't end and it's fascinating. So I want to thank you to all returning subscribers, and also point out that I will be doing a show with astrologer David Fisher about the astrology from a Hellenistic, with David from a Hellenistic astrology point of view. And just remember, it's a general reading I'm about to do here. Don't give away your power. If the reading is for you, which there's a past and a present always, well, actually this time it's more of just a present. But if the present doesn't fit, don't try and make it fit. Now, this time I've been led to use the Steampunk Tarot. Now, I've actually got 3 decks called the Steampunk Tarot, but this is a big box one from Tuttle by John and Caitlin Matthews. And the more I work with this particular deck, the more interesting it gets because it's got elements of, whereas the in-between tarot has sort of the space in between each card, this one, the minor arcana seem to be combinations, like a combination of wands and pentacles, or a combination of cups and swords, or a combination of the other 2 ways of doing it, which my brain's gone completely blank for a second there. But anyway, like I say, if you're wanting to get a personal reading from me, there is a link in the Facebook, in the description, a link for the Facebook page down below. Let's get my words in order. You can contact me there directly because it has got an inbox. There's a link tree down there if you prefer another way. Facebook's really the best way to do it. Right, let's get on about this moon. You'll have to forgive me. I'm going to stop looking at the camera. I'm not used to having it quite so close. So as I look at the screen, you're going to really notice the difference. So this new moon is occurring in 18 degrees Cancer, 18 degrees and 1 minute. So there's an element of numerology 9, rebirth, or at least I always see 9 as rebirth. If you think about how you collapse numbers in numerology, the 9 always disappears, but it's always there. It never really leaves. It's like this supreme force behind each number. Now, 18 degrees Capricorn is within the arc of the angel Yael, or the Goetic spirit Ipos. Let me just change pages so I've got the notes up here, and of course I haven't written anything about Epos. That was clever of me. But by day it is ruled by the Goetic spirit Goujon, or by night Vual. Now Vual reveals the past, the present, and the future. You know, he reconciles enemies and brings love to a relationship. In medieval, wonderfully sexist speak, it says the love of a woman to a man. He creates friendships and ensures esteem. He knows all and can manipulate time. That I'm, if you've seen my videos before, you know I'm fascinated with what time is on a spiritual level as well as a physics level and everything. Now, the themes that I'm pulling from this new moon, you know how I say that I don't like doing relationship readings. Well, astrology and this new moon has told me to wind my neck in, because this new moon's very much about partnerships. It's in Cancer, it's about the home and family, but it's all forms of partnerships. So between you and a significant other, between you and your friends, between you and your rulers, elected representatives, however you want to say it. And there's a lot of themes about research, and this is all seen in the symbols for 18 degrees Cancer. But just in having a look at the partnerships theme to start off with, in the Astrology Hub podcast, Anne Ortley pointed out that Juno, the wife of Jupiter, the planet of marriage vows, you know, among other things, is retrograde at the moment and is on the South Node. So traveling in the same direction as the South Node. It's funny that Jupiter's gone retrograde, but Juno was already there. Jupiter's there, going back, chasing after her. And Anne said that this would indicate that there could be quite a few partnerships coming to an end. There's more on that, because Saturn is opposite the asteroid Hera, who, again, that's the Greek form of Juno. So again, there's the matter of vows and marriage and loyalty, opposing Saturn, where Saturn is strong and likes to say no. So there's that element of, yeah, I'm not doing this anymore. This vow, this contract, this agreement, it's not serving us. We need to do it differently. Now, I'm not saying that that means things are coming to an end, just the way things have been going so far is coming to an end. That can be good. It doesn't necessarily mean a massive breakup, because Chiron, is it still in Aries or is it in Taurus? I think it's in Taurus now. Let me just check with my chart that's up. I'm sure it's in Taurus. Yes, it is. Right, so Chiron in Taurus is parallel. Now, parallels work like a conjunction. Chiron in Taurus is parallel Orpheus and Vesta. So there's wounding and healing and instruction to be had regarding the matters of unrequited love with Orpheus, and diving into the underworld, of course. And with Vesta, matters about the home. And you need to check the other astrologer videos about, especially Anastasia, Cosmic Astrologer, for a real in-depth look at Vesta during this new moon period. Sappho. Now, Sappho was a poet in ancient Greece, and she was a servant of Aphrodite. She's, as an asteroid, is very much about artistic abilities, sexual expression, and in Aquarius, Sappho likes to shock. Now, bear in mind that this, for the shock element, this Mars square Uranus, although the actual square is fading now, it's like 3.5 degrees going on 4 degrees arc, Mars is still parallel. So there's that Mars conjunct Uranus energy going on through the parallel. And we saw, wasn't it, January the 6th, that was Mars conjunct Uranus. So there's certainly energy for one partner to shock another. But with Chiron's presence with the Orpheus and Vesta, this can be a a healing thing. That healing thing is also we are enveloped. Um, Apollo, I forget what sign Apollo is because I haven't written it down here. But Apollo is opposing Aesculapia, which I'm assuming represents Aesculapius. So there's the god of healing, and then his, I think he's Asclepius, sorry, is his grandson. And he was given to be the earthly expert on healing by Apollo. So with those opposing one another, they're both working towards healing, and I don't think that they're actually working at odds against one another. They are enveloping the whole zodiac in a way of creating the opportunity for some healing. Now, if we look at the symbols, the Sabian symbol, Cancer 19, because 18 degrees Cancer is the 19th degree of Cancer, a priest performing a marriage ceremony. And it talks about the ritualization of productive interpersonal relationships. But also, another interpretation that I was reading talks about how marriage is, in a way, a tool of civilization to promote some form of conformity. Civilization promotes conformity to bring all facets of light into alignment. Before civilization began to take shape, there weren't any priests, ceremonies, or contracts for sexual relations. Civilization actually, by its very nature, promotes conformity, and it can create bondage and deny individuality. It is structured by laws and moral codes with penalties. So this is something that you can take advantage of, or here may well be something that will get challenged with that Mars-Uranus energy, because it's interesting that Mars being semi-sextile the moon, they can't officially see one another when they're next to one another like that. So it's quite possible that they will be working not necessarily at cross purposes, but pursuing totally different agendas. Now, I also want to say that there's a big note about research. Let me see, the Charabel degree is a man with a very old looking book before him. It has the appearance of Sonic Ancient Record. I think that might be a misprint here that I've got, but that's what it says, Sonic Ancient Record. But the book denotes a studious person, and 18 degrees Cancer, if you have that in your chart. It can denote a studious person, a profound thinker, one capable of grappling with abstruse studies. And it's study for the sake of study rather than study in order to publish or to be heard or to be a renowned expert. But there's a lot of expertise getting unleashed. This is backed up by the Kosminski degree symbol, which is an old man sitting alone in semi-darkness with an old book before him from which emanate bright rays of light. So there's this search for the truth within this 18 degrees Cancer degree, which I think is absolutely beautiful and very, very needed, especially during this time where partnerships and agreements are, well, astrologically under pressure. But if you look at the relationship of the moon to the rulers, the south node is being ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter is strong at the moment. It's in Pisces, it's at home, but it's starting to move retrograde. It's like the last gasp of this period of Jupiter in Pisces. And that implies, I think we'll be discussing this with David, but it implies that leadership can be doubted, that that there can be a lot of force from the people of wanting to know the true facts, but again with a healing level, because I've just noticed as I'm going through this, the Safarial degree symbol, now I don't know what that first word is, and escutcheon Right, I don't know what an escutcheon is. I'm assuming it is some form of shape containing a harp and a gauntlet. Now, I'm really drawn to that harp because that's the symbol of Apollo. That's the symbol that Apollo uses. Okay, that's with his music, but harp, lyre, it's reinforcing that influence of Apollo. And Apollo is also a god of truth, which reinforces those other degree symbols I was saying. So here, the Sapphireal degree symbol says it denotes a person of noble aspirations and refined tastes. As an interpreter of others' works, he would shine. In the character, there is a particular mixture of gentleness and irritability, of playfulness and gravity, which can render the native of this degree more difficult to deal with. So that's from a natal interpretation, but we're seeing this same vibration of let's get to the truth, let's check all the agreements, and let's cancel the ones that are useless and cancel the ones that are rubbish. Now, if that has not, because I could talk for a lot longer about this, but if that has not given you fuel for a question, if you didn't have one already, then well, I don't know what will. Because we're always, it's human nature, isn't it? Is this partnership good for me? Whether it's between us and our employer, our partner, our leaders. I mean, hell, we get to test that ever so often, hopefully, while voting rights, well, when voting rights are available. So ask your question, take that moment. Thank you very much for watching so far and watching my blurb. And if you have any comments on the reading or on the astrology aspect, well, astrology, then comment down below. I always try to respond as fast as I can, so you get a response within a day. Anyway, I think I've talked for long enough. I'll bring up the cards. Okay, Pisces, there's a very strong message here that you are in a special time. That you are in a special time for you, and it is all about your own personal development, spiritual development. I'll show you what I mean, but it would be better if I just hold the cards up. So we start with, from the Energy Oracle, the Temple Path, which is saying that this period in your life is essential to your spiritual development. It's on your path. The lights around it represent your soul family. That everything that is going on right now is all part of your own personal spiritual curriculum, path of development, however you want to say it. But interestingly, this is clarified from my mini energy oracle by storm warning. So that's something to pay attention to. That it's, I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is pay attention to the lessons that are coming through right now, because if you don't, those lessons will get stronger and stronger and stronger, because you're aware of plenty of options around you at the moment. And I believe that you're in the process of moving forward, in the process of gaining support and planning out and plotting just how you want to proceed forward in life. Let's put it that way. You know, whether this is in relation to a job or a more amorphous idea of destiny, or within a relationship or whatever. You're planning it out, you're making your moves, you're working out how to move forward, and you're starting that motion at the same time. But I do think that there is some commitment that is maybe holding you back, some commitment that's already there. And I want to say that a lot of that commitment seems to be a little bit of pomp and circumstance. So Four of Engines is the Four of Wands, and you notice all the rich people leaving the train, or maybe going to board the train. I don't know. It could be, yeah, it could be that they're going to board it. But there's an element of privilege as they get on that train. But once they're on the train, they are committed to that journey. So, like I say, with that four of engines, especially with it opposing you, it's some form of commitment that's, yeah. Did I really want to get into this? And I think that it's been causing you some stress. But what Spirit is bringing in is a sense of abundance. We have the Empress card here, and this is where this steampunk tarot and normal tarot meet. The Empress is the Empress. It implies good produce, abundance, beauty, art as well with this, a perspective to watch over things. There's an element of guardianship going on in this card as well. So, and I want to say that because I'm seeing you as the guardian. However, we also have Archangel Michael here, where you are, who is known for being a guardian. And on top of that, because if you watch the shuffle video, you'll notice out of the certainly out of the Angelarium and the Oracle of Heaven and Hell and the Angel Oracle, more than one card wanted to come out. So going to the Angel Oracle now, we have Hahuya representing protection. But interestingly as well, Azazel representing loyalty. And I take this as a symbol as well because Azazel and Beleth rule the same. I think it's 0 to 4 degrees Gemini. And you all know that Beleth is important to me because the Beleth is also the 8 of Swords. And we have the 8 of airships here at the bottom. Now, you know my relation, if you watch my videos, I love the 8 of Swords cards because of all the various interpretations it can put across. But this is telling me about surging ahead into a new and unknown destination, because it's an airship sailing through the clouds. But it's leaving the stresses and the imprisonment and possibly the whatever this commitment is, the tie that it was, behind. However, with Azazel here representing loyalty, it makes me wonder quite what that commitment is, because I do not believe that you will be breaking any loyalties that you currently feel. But you are heading to a far more active time. Information is coming to you about how to manifest your dreams. You've developed a love for something, and now you're acting on that love. So we've got the navigator of submersibles to the messenger of submersibles. In this case, it's Knight of Cups to the Page of Cups. Sorry, brain went blank. It's been a long day. But I'm not seeing that as a demotion. I'm seeing that as going from a wonderfully receptive state of the night, of drawing in all the information from the stars that he's observing from his boat, to getting into the high-powered seaplane and surging ahead places. And there's a lot of careful consideration and empathetic nature with the messenger of submersibles. There are also their messages that they are given to protect. So again, there's that protection symbol going on. So I think that there may be some message that you will be receiving, that it is protected in getting to you, or that you will be giving out and you are protected while carrying this message. We also have Mikhail with political authority here, but again, interesting having Mikhail here with Michael here. So it's political authority and protection. You have support, whether that is, I mean, because I don't want to say that you're the one with the political authority here, because I can't see that in the actual tarot. I mean, speaking as a Pisces, been there, done that, but there's energies on your side here, with Mikhail, political authority, Michael, protection, Hahuia, protection, and this Empress card. But this the abundance coming. But what is interesting is now, out of the Angelarium, 3 cards came out. We start off with Keter, spirituality, showing the strength of the period that you're in right now and of how you need to listen to your guidance, stick with your guidance, have faith. Oh yeah, faith, angel of faith here. Have faith with your guidance and go, okay, this is my path, I'm going to walk it. I mean, obviously, yes, question yourself during this, am I listening to my guidance or am I deluding myself? We've still got Neptune in Pisces and we've still got to live with that for another few years yet. Is it 24, 25, I think, that Neptune leaves Pisces? But there is news of something coming for you. And what is really interesting is with that storm warming, you notice with the navigator here, the water's been getting choppy. And then with the messenger of submersibles, we're in the plane, stuff the water, it doesn't matter. We're getting above it and getting above those waves. But obviously, a tornado could be something that would hassle even the plane. But I'm also, when I see this, I mean, one, it looks like there's a bit of a Greek temple that's been destroyed by the tornado. I'm not sure the camera's picking that up, which I think is it's not a beautiful image that a Greek temple has been destroyed, but it looks like a beautiful place of ruins where the tornado, or in this point typhoon, I suppose, because it's on the water, is approaching. But I'm also led to that whole, where whirlwinds take you? Oz. This, which means that certainly with this unexpected visitors card and also the final Angelarium card, Raziel, Angel of Mysteries, which reminds me, I have to read the Sefer Raziel. I've just got hold of it. There's a lot of power here on the bottom of the deck. Cosmic blueprint. So I know I'm not giving you that much information about how to handle this time. But just be aware that at the moment, everything has significance. And yes, I know that you want to ground this into the real world, the 3D world, the practical world, the world that will put bread and butter on the table. I can't promise you that that's going to happen. But I can promise you that abundance is, or more abundance is coming in. So you might not be quite grounding the way that you want to, but that's okay, as long as there's the grounding occurring. And also this 2 Leviathans, whatever this commitment is that's holding, right, I'm viewing it differently now, that 2 of Leviathans, after I've read everything else, because whatever this commitment is that's holding you back, it's not necessarily a bad thing, because whoever is on the other end of that commitment, they can be leading you to deeper places or rescuing you from deeper places if you manage to disappear too far inside yourself. In modern astrology, you are ruled by Neptune. You are the endless ocean. You have that endless ocean within you. And you're not going to get to ground anything if you're stuck in the middle of your own internal endless ocean. It's a balancing act going forward, but it's also, this looks like 2 people on the deck of a boat or on an airship. They're heading off somewhere. So 2 Leviathans indicates 2 of Pentacles. You are balancing those 2, needing bread and butter and following your spiritual destiny. But there's also there's a great sense of movement. If you look at all of these, they are moving cards. There, you're being a passenger, you're finally protected, you're on the big ship, you're getting to where you're wanting to go. Here, you're on a vehicle where you take off more, even further and faster, and you have the ability to surge onto unknown lands, whereas there is these unexpected visitors. I mean, it doesn't mean that they're people you don't know. They might be people that you do know or knew 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Um, but they have interesting gifts. So if someone gets in touch with you out of the blue, and I'm tempted to say it doesn't matter who they are. But if someone gets in touch with you out of the blue, give them a few minutes, just to see what's going on, see what they've got to tell you. Because from this, and that's the most practical advice I can give you from this reading. But from this, I think with them being linked with Raziel, Angel of Mysteries, and Gabriel, Angel of Heralds here, they've got something for you. So I can't tell you a great deal at all, Pisces. So if you're Pisces rising, Cancer is your... Ooh. It's not your 5th house, is it? So, 1st house for Cancer, 2nd house for Gemini, 3rd house for Taurus. But yeah, it's your 5th house. So whatever happens, Pisces, it's going to be fun. This new moon is going to bring on some real entertaining fun. But there's ups and downs. So when the lessons appear, make sure you learn them and act on them. That's the best I can tell you. But you are protected during this period, and Spirit is bringing abundance in. But it might take you a while to see it, by the looks of it. Not because it's taking its time to get there, but that too. But it's not necessarily going to appear in the form that you'd expect. Or necessarily your bank manager will want it to either. But there's a lot of otherworldly influence on here, and Spirit mucking about with things. In a way, Aquarius, I was telling them to be a witness. No, you're a participant here. You're not being a witness, and you're not even being a witness to your own thoughts. So, although you have to do that as well, don't forget that, because that's good practice. But you are actually diving in. I mean, Knight of Wands. I'm sure there was more wands. No, that's it. Knight of Wands. I could have sworn there was more wands when I dealt these out. Okay, well, nevertheless, you're a participant. So enjoy. You're looked after, but make sure you learn those lessons. Cheers.